What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. This is a sad story coming out of the great state of Texas by way of Dallas and Lancaster. Lancaster is a little suburb right outside of Dallas city limits. And Lancaster, DeSoto, what they call like the New Oak Cliff, New South Dallas, because that's where all the black people them move to. But anyway, neither here nor there. Just to kind of give y'all a little backstory, backdrop. But it's a sad story because it involves two kids who one took a life, the other one lost her life after she brought in a life. And so many lives have been touched negatively from this. But this is one of them stories that where it has to be brought out. It has to be told from a certain point of view, because too many times things happen and we don't try to get to the root of the problem. We don't try to understand the details, because the only way to stop things from happening again is to understand why they happened in the first place and what can we do to try to minimize the risk of it happening again. And like I said, this is one of those instances. So I'm gonna get in this story, and yes, I'm gonna make some comments and some takes that some people may think is too soon or may think is insensitive, but how else are you gonna fix a problem if you don't get to the root of it? So this is get it from yahoo.com by way of Fox News or Fox 4 News out here in Dallas. And it says, Texas teens on and off again boyfriend arrested, charged with her murder weeks after she gave birth. The on again, off again boyfriend of a Texas teenager murdered just weeks after giving birth has been arrested, according to a report. Trayvon Wright, 17, was arrested Monday by the U.S. Marshals Task Force and taken to the Dallas County Jail, according to Dallas police. He was arrested and charged with murder for the death of 17-year-old Ikea Imari Hood, who was shot and killed at a home in the southeast section of Oak Cliff on Sunday morning. First issue, the child named Ikea. I don't want to talk about the child's name too much, but the question is, what does Ikea mean? Should I look that up and see if there's a definition? Because used to be, when black folks used to give our kids exotic non-English names, they would mean something. They would have some like it mean like, king or queen or the sun, or the rising of the sun, or to be named after someone that was famous in Black or African culture. Now, Ikea. Matter of fact, shoot, let me just stop talking. Let me see if there's a definition of Ikea while we're in the middle of this. Hell, let's just keep it 100. Ikea definition. Let's see. Is there a definition for Ikea? What does it mean? Nope. What does Ikea name mean? The acronym okay. Ikea is the name of a popular Scandinavian founded worldwide furniture store. The acronym that makes up the name stands for Ingvar Kamprad, the founder's name, Elementary, whatever, the farm where the founder grew up, in Agunnard, the founder's hometown. So, in other words, the name means nothing. So you basically gave your child a useless name. Amazing. So again, but when you go look at the scriptures, right? When children had names, the names meant something. It was either like a description of the child, or the child's a path of life that is going to be traveled, that is going to be on. The name means something, and we need to get back to that. We really do, because I tell you what, my child, my youngest daughter has a nickname that I call her, since she was born. And ever since then, she has pretty much lived up to it personality-wise. And I remember years ago, my dad said, you have to be careful what you name a child or what you call a child, because they just might end up being like that. So my child's nickname, my youngest daughter's nickname, her personality fits it. It fits it. It fits it. She is, no nonsense, quick, you know what I'm saying? Will get in your face and will tell you how she feel and hope somebody got a problem with it. But kind of calm her down. She's pretty mellow now, but still got that mentality. So like my name, like Marlon, okay, it says English origin, possibly Little Hawk or a variant of Merlin or Marcellus. So it could be Little Hawk, or I could be named after a doggone magician, whatever. But like I say, names do have hold power, and they should. So when you name your child something, it should hold power. But both of my kids' first name are like names of famous royal people of historical significance. Anyway, I think to hear that near there. Let's go back to the story. I'm gonna talk about the child's name. Rest in peace. Sorry for that. Hood gave birth 3 weeks prior to the shooting. Sheehan writes, tumultuous relationship occurred over the last 2 years, and an arrest affidavit obtained by Fox 4 states. The mother of the Lancaster High School junior, who was a member of the Tigerette drill team, told investigators her daughter had just learned Wright was not the father of her newborn daughter and planned to tell him January 7th. Okay. I need y'all to tell me what's wrong. What's the problem in this whole paragraph? Let me tell you what I see. First, the child is 17, just had a baby 3 weeks ago. My gosh, you hate it. You hate to hear it. Yes, we've all done things, and we tried to act like we was adults when we was kids. Let's just say we all tried to have sex in high school. Let's just say it. Hell, stop all this damn politically correct talking. A lot of us have engaged in it. Okay. Some of us lucky enough to get through it unscathed. Some of us messed around and had kids. Some of us messed around and had sexually transmitted diseases. Some of us have ended up in relationships with crazy people. And due to it, got in a lot of trouble behind it. There's really nothing good that comes out of it doing it when you ain't supposed to be doing it. But as kids, we think we know everything and we're going to do what grown folks do, but we don't have grown folks' resources or abilities to deal with it without going to grown folks. You understand what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times, let's say if somebody, I'm to the point to where if someone has kids, I don't give a damn if you're grown. Or if you have kids by but it's female, had no kid by these no count dudes, but yet you want your parents and your grandparents to help with this baby, but you don't put that boy on child support, or you don't make that, or you don't get somebody who got no problem taking care of their kids and put them on child support, or they be around the family or be around the child. My thing is, why come to me, or why come to people who weren't there when you conceived this baby? Because nobody came to the parents or the grandparents and say, hey, I plan on having intercourse with this no count dude who don't work, out here smoking weed, probably selling drugs, think he a big time dope boy, but really ain't. I heard putting my life, his life, and the life of our future child in jeopardy by the actions that he participate in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and have a child by this guy. Okay, what do you think? Nobody comes and asks you that ahead of time, but once after it happens, or I'm finna have, I'm in a relationship with this guy, and we've been, I think we're gonna have sexual relations, and I think we're gonna mess around and screw without any protection, and I'm not on any contraceptive, and I'm not gonna make him put anything on, and I think we're going to mess around and it's quite possible we're going to have a kid. Nobody comes and talks to the parents or the guardians about anything like that until after it happens. And here they come with the tears in their eyes. And oh my God, I'm pregnant. What am I do? And then they talk to the boy, and the boy's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What, fool? You went up in the raw. You shot up the club. What you thought was gonna happen? What she tell you? Well, if we do it this day, then it's quite possibly we ain't gonna have no kid. Or your dumb butt was saying, man, I can't wear no protection because it just feels too good. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? The condoms desensitizer. Well, they got contraceptives and condoms that kind of alleviates that problem. You got professionals who deal with that. But no, kids and ignorant people just gonna be ignorant folk. Kids or adults. Shoot, can't help it. Can't get away from it. Can't run from it. It is what it is. So you got an on and off tumultuous relationship. And this is one thing I try to tell you, you girls and fellas too. If you're in a relationship with somebody and the relationship is toxic, you get up out that relationship immediately. It should not drag on for an extended period of time. We do it all too often. I don't know what we're thinking of. I don't know what we're hoping is going to happen. But 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen while y'all are together. That person is going to get better or figure it out or become a better person without you. Because with you, they're comfortable now. But without you, they have to see themselves and eventually figure out what they're doing ain't right. So maybe they need to make a change. Maybe it's me. They'll start thinking like that. But they'll say 15, 17 years old, God almighty, you still trying to figure it out. Got a long way before you figure it out. What they say, the human brain doesn't really get it. Started to really figure it out until you're 25. So y'all had at least 8 years to go. Next thing is the child went to school in Lancaster High School, which is, like I say, outside of Dallas, but he shot her in Oak Cliff. Well, there's another problem. If it's where I think it is, if she lives where I think she lives, the schools around there got closed down, got shut down. One of the high schools out there. And what do they do? High school, junior high, what they do? They ship them off to other areas. And that's what happened to Lancaster and DeSoto. So these kids who were not going to school in the first place, who were not doing work in the first place, who was disrespectful, didn't give a damn in the first place, their school gets shut down. And so them kids get bused to Lancaster. And they're doing the same doggone thing out there. So it's like nothing changed. You just move the problem to somewhere. You just move the problem somewhere else. So that's how she was able to go to Lancaster High School. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. If I'm thinking she's living where I think she's living. But then we get to Ikea, the victim here. Let's just be honest. Ikea was too young, doing too much. What is going through a child's mind to where at 17, you do not know who the father of your child is? You are messing with that many people. I don't give a damn if it's just 2 guys. That's 2 guys too many. First of all, at this age, you are dealing with too many guys who you are having sex with no protection. And you had a child. Did this child not grow up on Maury Povich? And maybe she did. Maybe grew up watching Maury Povich and thought it was a cool or cute thing to do. I don't know. But this child should not be having any partners, let alone multiple partners, and not using protection and not knowing who the doggone baby's fathers. Saw a video one time where the girl was in the hospital and it was like 2 or 3 guys in the freaking waiting room or whatever, in the hospital room with her, waiting for this baby to come out. and they all giggling and laughing and joking and having fun, and because nobody knows who the child's father is. And this is like normalized. Hold'em is normalized in our society now, and nobody seems to have a problem. You know why? Because nobody wants to be the one who's being accused of it. You'd rather your child to be just like you than to sit there and tell your child, don't do it. The old people back in the day used to chastise children. They used to sit there and try to keep kids locked up away from the world. Why do you think they did that? Seriously, why do you think they did that? And the kids were like, oh, my parents are so strict. They won't let me do anything. They're so evil. I had to go to church 7 days a week and twice on Wednesday, 3 times on Sunday. And they wouldn't let me do anything. When I get grown, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna be wild. No. Why do you think they did that? Because they were just that holding it out and wanted to make sure they would, you know what I'm saying, bringing the wrath of God on you if you just look like a girl will start to grow breasts. They was ready to chastise and put an exorcism on these girls. They're not even doing nothing. You know why? Because they probably did the same thing when they was your age. Well, they probably was sexually active or doing things they had no business when they were your age. Either that or their parents put them through the same thing. But I guarantee you, see, because people think about adults, we know what kids go through. We know how you think. We know what you plan on doing. Like I said, we know what you're going to do before you do it. So when a child gets of a certain age and you see your child going through the cycle, you see the boy's nuts drop, having wet dreams at night, whatever the case may be, looking at girls a certain way, looking at boys a certain way, trying to wear makeup, this, that, and the third, you remember your childhood. So what kids don't understand is sex did not start with them. How in the heck did they think they got her? But they know how they got her. So here's the thing, they know how they got her, then they think, well, hell, my mom and dad had me at a young age and things turned out fine. No, the hell it didn't. No, it didn't. So, let me tell you like this. My oldest daughter, funny thing, not too long ago. What was he talking about? He was talking about, I forgot, it had something to do with kids and marriage and things of that nature. But talk about my oldest daughter talking about growing up, and she said something that kind of shocked me, but shocked me in an interestingly way. She said, she's like, Dad, now me and her mom, we was married. Right now, I remember when we got married. Let's see, I had not when we got married, but she was pregnant. I remember we moved into, we got an apartment. I had no job. She worked in the bank part-time. We were living in Canterbury Village. 425, all bills paid. I ended up getting a job like real soon, so I don't think I just wasn't working, but I had been working. Then it was like a seasonal job, and they let us go. And so I was looking for a job, so I wasn't out of work that long, but got a job working at Walmart, then ended up working at a warehouse. But anyway, living Canterbury Village, 425, all bills paid, in the hood, in Oak Cliff, whatever. And then moved to like Lancaster and then other apartments, still moving, but I'm making like $8 an hour. She's making maybe like $5.75 part-time, but that's what it was. Then she's going to school. So my point is we wasn't making a lot of money, but my child, interestingly enough, and she's like in her mid 20s right now, said, Dad, do you not remember growing up, we didn't have no money? That when I was growing up, that we didn't have no money. This is what she told me. And when she told me this, it just validated my point to where I always tell people, kids know what's going on, especially if they see the rest of the world. Because my parents, middle class, had money, take care of themselves. Her parents, same thing. You know what I'm saying? No, same thing. Still struggle going on, but over time as they got old and got wiser, got degrees and businesses and going to work and just becoming stable. The grandkids didn't see a whole lot of that. But my oldest daughter said, Dad, do you remember when I was growing up, we didn't have no money? Cause I was, that's all I said. I said, man, I think I should have had like more kids. And she was like, no. Dad, don't you recall that when I was growing up, we didn't have no money. How you gonna have more kids? She just bust out and said, I'm like, damn, she's right. So the thing is, so the point is, children, because a lot of times parents think kids don't know. A lot of times women don't think that, oh, I have a different boyfriend every year, every different boyfriend, men coming in out the house all the time. But my child is too young to understand what's going on. Nah, they learn. That's what so I call it child rearing, because from the time that child is in your belly, your child is learning. Like I said earlier about giving kids names. I gave my youngest daughter her nickname while she was in her mother's belly because she wouldn't stop moving. She always moving around doing, just being busy. And came out, boom, same thing. Like I said, kids, you teaching your child from the time when they're in the belly until the day you die. And your children is paying when they're young, they're paying attention, they're learning, they're soaking up everything like a sponge, so everything you do. And they might not even understand it when they get older, but it's inbred into their psyche, and they just do things and probably don't even know why. It's because of how they was raised. It's how how their personality was created, was developed. So you got a child, like say 17. Why does a high school kid, and Lord have mercy, yes, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be holier than thou. Like I said in a video before, in high school, God, I hate to put this out because I'm telling y'all stuff to me, my own kids don't know. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Don't forget that. It was done. It's been done. What this child is doing, it has been done. My point is, how do we stop it? How do we figure it out? I think I did a pretty good job with me and the mother of my kids and my family and their family, all of us being around, being in a support group, all those that have supported us. I think we did a pretty good job with my children, because my kids didn't get involved in stuff like that in high school. These things I know to this level. Let me say that. Because you never know what your child is doing 24/7, but to this level, I know my kids didn't get involved in no things like that. But again, how does a kid think that this is okay and you don't know who the father of your kid is? That is something that you got to figure out what a root, because when you see the interviews, honestly, no men normally. That's what you see. That's how it is. You see no men in the picture when they do interviews. There's no father. There's no hood. There's no uncle, no cousins, no grandfathers. Nobody's in the picture during these interviews. It's always a bunch of women doing a damn balloon. Bunch of women, and the little boy, only fellas, guys you see are siblings of the person that's dead. At a freaking balloon release. So anyway, it says the mother of Lancaster High School junior, I know I just read this, but let me just reiterate, was a member of the Tiger Red drill team, told investigators her daughter had just learned Wright was not the father of her newborn daughter and planned to tell him on January 7th. Wright had previously believed that the baby was his, the arrest document stated. It is also noted that Hood's mother found her daughter with a gunshot wound in her locked bedroom after finding the window open with a screen pushed out. Hood, who aspired to dance at the collegiate level, left behind seven siblings and was happy to be a mother, local NBC5 reported. That's a lie. That's not a lie. You know why she had to be a mother? Because the baby looked like a doll at this age. All they doing is, like cuckoo, goo-gooing, and pooping and peeing everywhere, and that's it. And feeding off a bottle. I'm quite sure she wasn't breastfeeding. So it was easy. Wait till the child get older and get to walking around and moving and getting into stuff and aggravating you and things of that nature, or can't sleep at night. You don't have it 3 weeks. Can't sleep at night. You gotta try to get some sleep. You gotta get up and go to work or go to school in the morning. And that child has got colic or got something wrong when he got rushed into Parkland. Because probably ain't got no insurance. because you ain't got no job, so you gotta go rush to the parkland. And you're gonna be sitting in parkland for like 4, 5, 6 hours waiting to be seen in the middle of the night, but probably longer than that because there's a slew of other baby mamas and illegal immigrants and whoever else in the waiting room with their kids because their kids are sick too. This is why she was so happy to be a mother at 17, because she hadn't been through that yet. She hadn't been through that yet. Parents, this woman had 7 kids. Teach your children that kids are not easy and kids are not free. They even if you own that system, you got to spend time with them. Now, if you ain't giving them money and you ain't giving them time, you is just a sorry parent, period. It said Hood, who aspired to be collegiate lesson on 7 siblings. Goofy, funny, she always had us laughing. I guess what happened baby was that funny. Sister Jalaya Williams. So her probably name was Ikea. Her mom probably ran out of names. Jalaya Williams told a local TV station, Kia was a celebrity. She was everything. Police have not said how or where they tracked down Wright, nor if a weapon was recovered from him. He remains in custody on a $500,000 bond. So her life is only worth $50,000. But he probably ain't got the money anyway to make the bond anyway. This story reminded me of a story I heard the same story like maybe 30 years ago. About 30 years ago. Because it was a friend of my father's whose daughter had met the same fate. During mom found her, dead on the couch. I guess the daughter had skipped school or whatever, and boyfriend the one who did it. I don't know if the girl was pregnant or whatever, but for some reason the boyfriend deleted her. And I don't understand, I don't know the details of the story. I'm sure they do. But this goes to another point. My dad used to always say, and I always told my kids. Now it was funny because my kid's mother went against this one time, but the boy wasn't crazy because the boy knew me and the boy already knew what I already spoke to him. But whatever, I don't know. But kids are gonna try kids. But there's one thing you tell your kids: do not have anybody over my house. My parents used to tell me the same thing. Don't have anybody at my house when I'm not here. It's not being strict. It's because of safety concern. Because I remember had homeboy came over to the house one time and my parents wasn't there, whatever, playing video games, sitting in the living room. They just gonna come in, come out. And then one dude, he tried to come over and then he got mad. I don't know what he was saying. He was on some shit one day. But anyway, next thing I know, the house got broken into. People stole stuff. But my parents didn't know the dude came to the house. But you don't just want strange people coming to the house. And I remember some dude came to the house one day. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell that story. But anyway, as a parent, as a person who live in the house, you do not, first of all, safety concerns. One, you don't want nobody scoping your house out and then coming back and stealing what you got. Number 2, you don't want nothing to happen to your child, your family, especially if you're not there and you're not prepared for what's happening. And then you come home and your daughter is gone because boyfriend came over for whatever reason and did what he did. And then I think my final point is going to this dude, Trayvon Wright. Trayvon, I don't know how these boys are raised nowadays. And I mentioned this to somebody and she got kind of upset because I said it. But I'm like, I don't understand how these boys are raised, because that boy, instead of trying to delete her when she said that the baby wasn't his, he should have kissed her and ran. And she was like, why do that? I said, because, from where I'm from, ain't nobody trying to have no baby at 17. Ain't nobody trying to have no child in high school. Not no dudes, females. Yes, I knew a girl who I talked to, and we was on the phone one night, and she told me she was a freshman in high school, told me that she wanted to have a baby because she needs somebody to love her, this and that, third. And I hung up, like I said, maturity. maturity, right? Yeah, who's more mature, boys or girls? But anyway, I hung with and didn't deal with her no more. Then she ended up having a baby by a dude who was 2 years older than me anyway. You see what I'm saying? But I wasn't finna get caught with no crap like that. But anyway, like I said, it's like, shoot, then it was the girl who claimed that I was like, who tried to say that she was having my baby. I'm like, nah, she ain't had my baby. The hell with that. And then come to find out it wasn't my child. Boom. Yeah, I didn't go over there and get mad at her and try to whoop her. I was happy as hell. Man, come on now. So again, like I said, I don't know how these boys have been raised. So, but again, the person with the attitude was a female. But the boy, like I said, 17, forget that. But see, she's probably thinking on relationship, they love each other, blah, blah, blah. The hell with that. You can be in love and do all this kind of stuff and do whatever, like I said, try to do what grown folks do. But when it comes to having babies, you ain't trying to have no child in high school, man. So again, I don't know how these boys are raised real sensitive and by a bunch of freaking females, but ain't no way in hell he should have reacted the way he did when he found out the baby wasn't here. Okay, he found out it was here, like, damn, I'm upset, blah, blah, blah. This and the third, but we're going to get through this. But then, because the baby only 3 weeks. Now, it's different if he done raised his child after years, 5, 6, 7 years. And then all of a sudden, somebody said, man, you sure it's your baby? They don't look like you, don't act like you, blah, blah, blah. And you like, I don't know, I don't think it is. And you do a DNA test and come to find out that it's not yours. Now that is where the pain comes in, because you have attached yourself to a child that you are claiming for your own and you are proud. And this woman done deceived you and sat right there in your face and lied all these years. She didn't care about you, didn't care about that child, didn't care about anything but herself. And you find out this ain't your child. Now that I can understand being very upset, and who knows what a person will do. But when you are this young and that baby ain't even 3 weeks old, and you find out, she gonna tell you she gonna find out and tell you that baby is not yours. Like I said, if I was in high school, man, I would probably had a smirk. I've been like, man, what? You been cheating on me? But they say y'all been off and on, so dude, what the hell? I probably would have faked it, like, what? Did you cheat on me? You got somebody else, man? Forget you, blah, get all mad, and then I'm out of there. I'm out of there. Call it, you know what I'm saying? Gone. Running down the street like they're doing, like say, a Marvin Povich, man. It ain't, you are not the father. I'm out of there. I'm out of there. But hey, he did what he did, so now he got to pay the consequences. He's gonna spend the rest of his life in jail, because he did the ultimate simp move and got mad at a little girl, got mad at a child. But he was a child himself. But anyway, y'all tell me what you think about this story. Again, the point is we got to find a way to stop this cycle. This is not cute. This should not be a part of Black culture. We got to get away from this. We got to get away from our culture having to live and be proud of drama and be proud of, like, what do you call it? Like being bad off, suffering, struggling, things of that nature. We got to stop. We got to stop allowing that to define us. We got to be where it's like, hey, my child making all A's in school, never got in trouble, ain't gang banging, ain't selling dope. Met a nice young gentleman, a nice young female in college, and they're both on the same path. They got the same mind frame, and they're not going to get married until they get out of school. And then they're planning on not having children for 2 or 3 years. After that, they're going to get their career started, and then they're going to build a home. They're going to travel. They're going to do this and the third, and then they'll end up maybe having children in their mid to late 20s. That's what we need to get our culture defined with. Not Sexy Red, not Megan Thee Stallion, not what's the dude? Young Thug. That cat is in court, and everybody talking about free Young Thug. Man, if that dude did it, so be it. Do the crime, do the time. And then what they used to say, why is that no longer valid to be said? But we got to get away from this street gangster, no count destructive culture. We got to get away from it. And we got to get back to, you remember they showed the old videos of the guys dressing in suits and ties. He probably ain't had no money, but always looked the part. Thought about family, want to get married, have families, raise families, and create a legacy. That's what we got to, that's what we need to reestablish in the forefront. Not this destructive stuff like this that does not help our community, that does no good. What good is anything tell me something, what good has anything done in the lives of this child, of these children? What has been done that's good enough? What good does any of this do when children lose their lives? Kids die and kids go to prison. What? Why is it, like I said, why is it something to brag about? Like when he gets sentenced and go to jail and comes back a hardened criminal, or somebody's brought in prison, whichever one, you know what you're gonna do? It's gonna be a party, gonna be banners. You know what I'm saying? Free my N-word. You know what I'm saying? She was, you know what I'm saying? She was this, she was a hoe, she was a slut, you know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know why. She probably was, stupid stuff. And when he get out, they're gonna have big parties and gonna celebrate this dude getting out after he took somebody's life. But he could have just walked away and could have been celebrating his whole life. Things got to change in our culture, man. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.